Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast. My name is Henry Lawrence, and in this episode, we're going to talk about how to shift into positive energy no matter what is going on in your life. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end because we're going to take a deep, healing, meditative breath to help us align on this message and move forward throughout the day. So perspective is so powerful. And when you're going through hard times, maybe you're struggling at work, you're struggling at home, you're struggling at school, you're struggling in health, like whatever it is, when you're going through something difficult, you're taking blow after blow, setback after setback, and that becomes what you start to see. And rightfully so, because when you're getting hit, you're going to look at the thing hitting you. And slowly your perspective shifts into somebody that's not creating their experience, but somebody that's experiencing getting hit. And so it creates it more and more and more. How do you get out of this? How do you get out of this pattern, of this frequency? Because I'm sure that's what you want. That's why you're tuning in to things like the Positive Mindset Podcast. Perception is everything. I believe that perception will set you free. So if you want to shift your perception, if you want to be able to see the world differently, if you want to be able to receive the world differently, your perception of self is the first thing you shift. You should know who your higher self is, or create a version of what you decide your higher self is. The version of you that's living this life to the fullest. The version of you that has set expectations and is experiencing them. See, the first thing you need to do is create the day, the life that person lives. So well that you could speak to a moment of time. It's 2:30. This is what I'm doing in this future me. It's 4 o'clock. This is what me would be doing at 4 o'clock. This is who I would be around. This is how I'd look. This is what my bank account would be. This is how my family would be. Know all of it. Once you create this timeline, this experience that exists with a version of you that is living out the callings that you have, that version, you can tag in and take the perspective of that person at any moment in your life today. When you pull that version into your life to right now, perception shifts. You see, that version of you sees life differently because it's created a different life. You manifest your experience. You cannot become a better creator. You cannot become a better manifester. You are already as good as one can be. But what you can do is learn how to control that power. And by becoming this version, by bringing that version into your current self, that version will see things differently. It doesn't mean the things that you're being faced with, it will not have to face them. That version of you will be in the mix just as you are, but that version of you will see it differently and be able to move forward differently. It won't tackle the problem as the current person that's being hit with it. It will tackle the problem with the person of the perspective of already getting through it. With the perspective of already building the business, with the perspective of already getting into the shape, with the perspective of already having the people, the friends, the family that it created that you desire. Everything exists all at once. And when you can truly understand it and believe that, it frees you from being stuck in your current circumstances. And I know some of you are hearing this message and you go to the extremes. You say, well, what if I'm in a car accident? Can I just perspective my way out of that? What if I'm at this extreme? Can I perspective? No, the world is happening. There are things that are going to happen outside of your control. And sometimes they are the end. In fact, all of us meet an end of this experience. But for the overall, the arch of the experience, you can dictate your experience of it. And that version of you experiences it differently. Here's an example, and I'm going to use money. Let's say future version of you has created a life of abundance. Maybe they're a business owner, maybe they're just real successful in their career, whatever it is, they've created something different than you have. So this version of you, they've built this business, they've built their bank account, they have things that you desire. When money comes to them, something different happens with the money than when it comes to you. Otherwise, you would already have that life. So what does that version of you believe about money that you're currently not believing? What does that version of you believe about themselves and money that you're currently not believing? Maybe that version believes when money comes to me, I multiply it. Maybe that person believes that I am a money magnet. Money comes to me all the time. Whatever it is, that version of you has a belief that you currently do not inhabit. But once you bring that belief into your mind, you start acting on it. You see, if you are great with money, you are great with all money, whether it's 10 cents or $1,000,000. We like to think, oh, if I had $1,000,000, I would be better with money. If that was true, people that are great at one thing then receive money would keep the money too. With celebrities, with athletes, how many of them are great and earn all this money but then lose it because they didn't shift into an understanding of the other thing? Lottery winners, all of it. Your internal belief system will create your reality. So this version of you that is good with money, start acting like them now. When you receive 10 cents, honor it. Where's this 10 cents going? You might think, well, what can I do with 10 cents? You have a budget in mind, right? That version of you would. It goes to this. 2 pennies go to this. 8 pennies go to that. That's how you act. I can't buy this because I'm saving for that. I order this because it's less expensive and I put the rest into here. That version thinks differently. Now, what if it's joy? Finding the good. You see, if this version of you that you see in the future has an abundant life that they love and is fun and is exciting, if that exists for them, then you would need to start thinking like that version now. So that version now would think differently, right? You might thinking, well, that person's life is amazing. They have the great house, they have the great family, they have the great job. Of course they're happy. Well, that version came from you, so that version had to think of something differently to receive something differently. So maybe they got good at gratitude and finding the good in anything, because what you focus on expands. If you focus on saving money, you're going to expand saving money. If you focus on the good in life, you're going to expand the good in life. You have to start thinking differently, and you have the ability to choose your perspective on everything. The hardest part about this, because we think about what's fair, we think about what others did to us, because those are true. Life is not fair. Some things happen to you that don't happen to other people. You are born different than everyone else. Like, people are not the same. We have different abilities, different mindsets, all these things. Remove fairness, remove equity, remove all of those, and just take the perspective that you are a powerful creator that can change anything. Because it is difficult to admit that, oh, I created this reality. I created being broke. I created being unhealthy. I created this poor job. I created this situation. It is hard to do that. But if you don't do that, then you're not going to give yourself the power to change it. I'm not saying that your circumstances aren't harder than someone else's. I'm not saying that bad things didn't happen to you. Those can all be true, but they do not supersede the fact that you are a powerful creator and can change anything in your life that you desire. People do it every single day. Now, it doesn't matter if you didn't do it yesterday. It doesn't matter if you're 60 years old or 20 years old or 90 years old. There's only ever now in your experience. So that version that lived in the future that you created, that has all those things, feels a certain way. And if you were to bring them into your life, yes, of course, immediately they'd wake up and say, well, where'd all my stuff go? But if they operated as them, they would find the good and they would create the feeling that they had there. They would create it into the current situation. So they would get to feel how you believe future them feels in your current situation now. And as they would do that, they would then recreate that life again. You can do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep healing breath. And when you breathe in, I just want you to believe. Say, I am the creator of my experience. I am the master of my experience. And then as you hold your breath, visualize it. What is that perfect day? What does it look like? Who are you around? What's the temperature? What are you wearing? What are you driving? Create that positive visualization. And as you exhale, allow anything that doesn't resonate with that to leave you. All right. Make sure I am the creator. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. You got this. You've heard the message. Maybe this isn't your first time hearing something like this. Maybe it's been again and again and again, but you can choose to do this right now. This episode can end. You could grab a piece of paper. You could take your phone and do a voice memo, whatever you want to do. You could take that and start writing down. Start putting into the universe what this perfect day looks like. Do it. Have fun with it. Put joy, put love into it. So then you know this is the target. That's who I want to be. That's who I'm going to be. And then bring it into now so that you can rise up and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on whatever it is that you're going through. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there. And if you are ready to make a shift, if you've been listening to these episodes and you want to grow, you want to adopt a mindset like this and make a powerful transformation, I am still filling up my clients for 2025. So if you have questions, you have interest, the easiest way to reach me is my Instagram at RealHenryG or the email below, henry@vibeabundant.com. That's HENRY@VIBE abundant.com. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.